Europe, long admired for its stability, prosperity, and rich heritage, is quietly facing a wave of unprecedented challenges. Once hailed as paragons of progress, several of its nations now find themselves in the grip of economic turmoil, demographic shifts, political upheaval, and social strain. Did you know that the past decade has seen a 40% increase in reported societal friction across Western Europe, much of it linked to economic uncertainty and rapid social change? With mounting costs of living and widespread disillusionment, some experts are warning of a mass migration from regions once considered among the most desirable on Earth. Today's video, Top 10 Fastest Declining European Countries, will take you beneath the headlines, uncovering the surprising forces reshaping the continent. From unaffordable housing and stagnant wages to aging populations and political deadlock, these nations are facing crossroads that even seasoned analysts hadn't foreseen. Are we witnessing the fading of Europe's brightest stars, or is there a new chapter of resilience just around the corner? Stay tuned as we count down the European countries most at risk, and don't forget to subscribe for more eye-opening insights. Let's jump right in. 10. Austria. Austria, often celebrated for its alpine landscapes, classical music, and vibrant culture, finds itself at the start of our list. Though it boasts a strong economy and high quality of life, Austria is grappling with issues that threaten its long-term stability. One of the major headaches is its energy transition. According to Austria's Ministry for Climate Action, the country's ambitious move toward renewables has led to a 28% increase in household energy bills over the past 5 years. While aiming for sustainability, Austria faces growing pains, energy shortages in winter and a reliance on imports that make prices unpredictable. On the demographic front, Austria's population is aging fast. Over 22% of Austrians are now over 65, and the birth rate is below replacement level. This has led to a shrinking workforce, putting pressure on pensions and the healthcare system. The government's 2024 white paper warns that, without reform, pension expenditures could outpace contributions within a decade. Immigration is helping to fill labor gaps, but it also brings integration challenges. Nearly 26% of Austria's population has foreign roots, a statistic that reflects both the country's openness and the tensions that come with rapid demographic change. As debates over language, culture, and social services intensify, Austria's famed Gemütlichkeit, coziness, is being tested. Austria's manufacturing sector, especially in machinery and automotive parts, faces fierce global competition and automation pressures. Once a leader in innovation, Austrian industry must adapt or risk falling behind. Will Austria's blend of tradition and innovation help it navigate these storms? Or is the country headed for deeper troubles? 9. Spain. Spain, synonymous with sunny coasts, lively fiestas, and rich traditions, is admired worldwide. Yet, beneath the surface, Spain is wrestling with problems that have earned it a spot in our countdown. The housing crisis is front and center. The Ministry of Transport, Mobility, and Urban Agenda reports a shortage of over 400,000 affordable homes nationwide. In Madrid and Barcelona, prices soared by 18% in 2023 alone, pushing many young Spaniards to live with parents well into adulthood. Spain's population is also changing. With 15% of residents born abroad, the nation is more diverse than ever. This diversity brings new perspectives and energy, but also requires new strategies for integration, especially in education and employment. The job market is another flashpoint. Unemployment remains stubbornly high, especially among youth, where the rate hovers above 27%. According to the Bank of Spain, sluggish wage growth and a dependence on seasonal tourism jobs have left many feeling stuck. Meanwhile, Spain's famed healthcare system is under strain, with regional disparities leaving some areas underserved. The Institute for Economic Studies warns that without reforms, health outcomes could worsen, particularly for the elderly. Will Spain's resilience and cultural vibrancy help it rebound? Or are more difficult times ahead? Stick with us as we move down the list. 8. Switzerland. Switzerland, renowned for its precision, chocolate, and neutrality, appears on our list for reasons that might surprise you. Despite its image of prosperity, Switzerland is facing a housing crunch. The Swiss Federal Statistical Office notes that vacancy rates in major cities have dipped below 1%, sending rents and property prices through the roof. In Zurich, average rents jumped by 12% in 2023, making it one of Europe's least affordable cities. Switzerland's job market is also feeling the pinch of demographic change. Nearly 1 in 5 Swiss residents is over 65, and by 2030, the ratio of retirees to working-age citizens will be among the highest in Europe. This places strain on pension funds and healthcare resources, with experts warning of a looming silver tsunami. Immigration, long a key driver of Switzerland's economy, now accounts for over 25% of the population. While newcomers have filled critical roles in healthcare and tech, integration and language remain persistent challenges. Political gridlock is another concern. The Swiss system of direct democracy, while empowering, can delay urgent reforms. Critics argue that Switzerland's famed consensus building sometimes leads to inertia at critical moments. Can Switzerland maintain its prized stability, or will these pressures crack the foundations? Let's see who comes next. 7. Denmark. Denmark, famed for hygge, design, and progressive policies, has earned a spot on our list due to mounting challenges that could reshape its future. Housing is growing less accessible, with the Danish Ministry of Housing reporting a deficit of 90,000 affordable units. Prices in Copenhagen rose 15% in 2023 alone, making homeownership a dream out of reach for many young Danes. Denmark's labor market is tight, with a shortage of skilled workers in tech and health care. According to the Confederation of Danish Industry, wage growth in these sectors reached 6% last year, straining small businesses and driving up costs. Demographically, Denmark faces an aging population and low fertility rates. Over 21% of the population is over 65, raising concerns about the sustainability of pensions and elder care. Immigration and integration remain hot topics. About 13% of Danes are immigrants or descendants, a statistic that has spurred debate around culture, language, and belonging. Despite its high ranking on happiness indexes, Denmark's challenges have led to growing political polarization and debates over the future of its famed welfare model. Will Denmark chart a new course, or are storm clouds gathering on the horizon? Let's keep going. 6. Norway. Norway, known for its fjords, natural beauty, and oil wealth, seems an unlikely candidate for this list. Yet, beneath the prosperity, there are cracks in the foundation. The cost of living is rising rapidly. The Norwegian Institute for Consumer Research reports that food and energy prices have outpaced wage growth, squeezing household budgets and narrowing the gap between rich and poor. Norway's population is aging, with 1 in 5 Norwegians now over 65. As oil revenues plateau, the government faces tough choices about how to fund its generous welfare system. Immigration is also shaping Norway's future. 16% of the population is foreign-born, bringing new dynamism but also challenges in education and job placement. The oil sector, long Norway's economic engine, is under pressure from global shifts toward green energy. The Ministry of Petroleum and Energy warns that without successful diversification, Norway could face job losses and shrinking revenues. Will Norway's tradition of consensus and planning see it through? Or is the land of midnight sun entering a new era of uncertainty? Stay tuned. 5. Finland. Finland, a nation admired for education, innovation, and natural beauty, is wrestling with several tough issues. A housing shortage is hitting Helsinki and other urban centers. The Ministry of the Environment estimates a need for 60,000 new homes in the next decade. Rents have jumped 11% in the capital, straining budgets for students and young families. Finland's population is aging at one of the fastest rates in Europe, 23% are over 65. With a shrinking workforce, the burden on pensions and health care is intensifying. The Finnish Center for Pensions warns that urgent reform is needed to balance the books. Immigration has risen, with 10% of the population now foreign-born. Finland's commitment to integration is strong, but language and employment gaps persist. The economy faces headwinds as traditional industries like forestry and manufacturing adapt to global trends. The Bank of Finland notes that stagnant productivity and low wage growth are making it harder for young Finns to get ahead. Will Finland's famed problem-solving skills help it adapt, or are tougher times ahead? Let's head further down the list. 4. Slovenia. Slovenia, nestled between the Alps and the Adriatic, is often overlooked in European debates. Yet, this small nation faces outsized challenges. The housing market is overheated. The Statistical Office of Slovenia reports that prices in Ljubljana rose by 17% last year, driven by limited supply and urban migration. Demographic decline is acute, 24% of Slovenians are over 65, and the birth rate is among the lowest in the EU. The Pension and Disability Insurance Institute warns of a funding shortfall by 2032 if trends continue. Slovenia's economy, historically based on manufacturing and tourism, is vulnerable to global shocks. The Ministry of Economic Development notes that wage growth lags behind the EU average, pushing young talent abroad. Immigration is rising, with 9% of the population now born overseas. Integration efforts are ongoing, but disparities in education and employment remain. Can Slovenia's innovative spirit turn the tide, or will demographic and economic headwinds prove too strong? The countdown continues. 3. Hungary. Hungary, rich in history and culture, is facing a crossroads. The cost of living is climbing, especially in Budapest, where rents increased by 14% in 2023. The Central Statistical Office warns that inflation is straining household budgets. Hungary's population is shrinking, over 21% are over 65, and young people are leaving for better opportunities abroad. The Hungarian Academy of Sciences estimates a labor force reduction of 300,000 by 2030. Integration is a growing issue, with 8% of Hungarians having a migration background. While this brings new perspectives, it also raises questions about social cohesion and opportunity. Economically, Hungary faces pressure as global supply chains shift. The National Bank of Hungary notes that foreign investment is declining, while wage growth lags behind inflation. Will Hungary's resilience see it through, or is the nation facing a steeper climb? Just 2 more to go. 2. Poland. Poland, Europe's rising star of the 21st century, is not immune to serious challenges. A housing crisis has emerged, with the Ministry of Development reporting a shortage of 1 million units. In Warsaw, property prices have soared by 16% in a year. Poland's workforce is aging, 20% of the population are seniors. Labor shortages in tech and healthcare are becoming acute, while emigration remains high among young professionals. Immigration is increasing, with 7% of residents born abroad, many from Ukraine and Belarus. While this helps the economy, integration and social support systems are being tested. Economically, Poland faces rising inflation and slow wage growth. The National Bank of Poland warns that without innovation and investment, growth could stall. Will Poland's dynamism help it recover, or are more difficult years ahead? Only one country left. 1. Croatia. Croatia, celebrated for its Adriatic coast and cultural treasures, tops our list for pressing reasons. The economic fallout from past crises lingers, and public debt remains high at 70% of GDP, according to the Croatian Bureau of Statistics. Tourism, the backbone of the economy, is vulnerable to global shocks. Croatia's population is aging and shrinking, 25% are over 65, and the birth rate has fallen for a decade. Many young Croats seek work abroad, leading to a demographic hollowing out in rural areas. Housing in Zagreb and coastal cities is costly, rising 13% last year. The Ministry of Construction notes a shortage of 120,000 homes. Integration is a new challenge, with 5% of the population now born abroad, mostly from neighboring countries. Efforts to ensure social cohesion are underway but face hurdles. Will Croatia's resilience and adaptability spark a turnaround, or is the nation facing a prolonged period of uncertainty? There you have it, the top 10 fastest declining European countries. From economic pressures and political challenges to demographic shifts and housing shortages, even Europe's most admired nations are now facing a moment of reckoning. But with challenge comes opportunity, and history shows that resilience and innovation can spark comebacks in the unlikeliest places. If you found this analysis insightful, subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most pressing issues. Which country's struggles caught you most off guard? Let us know in the comments, and keep exploring with us. Until next time, stay curious.